Hello, welcome to Borderlands 2. We're going to be running the Co-op All Quests category. What that means is we're going to be completing every single quest in the base game. No DLC quests or storylines are required. Quick introduction of who we are. I'm ZZRules21.
I am UnjustAction.
And I am Deceptix.
So we're going to be running on... one other thing to note beforehand is we're going to be on patch 1.3.1 of the game. It has a whole bunch of glitches that are going to be really, really important for the entirety of the run that aren't available on current patch, so we downpatched to a previous version to still have access to these very, very broken glitches in this run. So we should be all set, so we can get started in 3, 2, 1, go. So starting off, the character loadout that we have is very specific, and we have for very specific reasons. Unjust is the Gauge, the Necromancer. She's the best solo character, which leads to also being the best host character for co-op speedruns. And we'll get into why she's the best solo character and host character a little bit later on, whenever we get to those sections. Deceptix and I are both off-host characters, and we are Axton, who is very, very strong off-host, and again, for reasons we'll get to whenever we get to that part of the game.
Yeah, so this game starts with this little cutscene here, Claptrap talking to you. Once we gain access to movement, I'm gonna just run ahead to say Claptrap, and so it's easy. And that'll give Deceptix time to set up a glitch here.
It comes with a Class 12 heads-up display, complete with a mini-map. Now, come, friend. Let's get you inside.
So yeah, the game starts off actually pretty broken, pretty much instantly. What I just did right there is actually turned one gun into many different versions of the same gun. If you are an off-host player and you quickly swap and drop weapons, the game gets confused on what you're holding and when you're holding it, so it just spews guns out of your character. We can use this to duplicate weapons, and there's also a few other things that the duping glitch can do, which we'll get into a little bit later.
So like Decep said, all off-host characters can do that, so I just did the same to duplicate a bunch of the snipers that I had in my hand. So important to note about that is you can do that for any weapon you can hold, but for any other items, you have to set up duplication a bit different, which Unjust and Decep are doing right now. They're doing a dual dupe. Essentially, you put up an item for a duel, and then you get rid of it, and then the winner of the duel has to get the item as a reward. So they use it with the echolog to skip Claptrap's dialogue, while still preserving that echolog, because we're going to use it to skip some dialogue in a couple of other places in the map. In the run.
And while Deceptix and I are doing the dual dupe, ZZ is running into the corner over there. He jumps on top of the icicle and hits a save through the wall. You're not supposed to hit that save early. You're supposed to wait for Claptrap to open the door and then wait for it. It takes a lot longer doing it that way, and this way we can just turn in right after or safe quit right after we turn in, and skip waiting around. That pushes Claptrap much farther.
So one of the other side effects of the item duplication glitch is the game gets confused and thinks that you're still holding the weapon that you duplicate. So because of this, we're able to stack implicit weapon stats onto our character, because the game never thinks we dropped the weapon that we duplicated. For this part specifically, we're duplicating these Jacob snipers, whose implicit property is that they have an extra 160% crit damage added on to your crits. So every time I dupe 2 sets of snipers, I get 320 extra crit damage, extra crit damage added onto my character. So doing this over and over and over again means our crit damage is going to skyrocket. And we're going to be doing this throughout the entirety of the run.
So while they're doing that and stacking, I'm just pushing Claptrap forward with the wave fight here. The early game is basically just do a wave fight, wait for Claptrap, do a wave fight, wait for Claptrap. It's very slow early on, but it picks up pretty quickly. One thing to note, I'll be doing a glitch only for the early game here called double shotting. If you shoot, start a reload, and then shoot and melee at the same time, you can shoot twice, thus calling it a double shot. If you then chain these inputs together, you can shoot twice very quickly and get just increase your burst damage essentially, which is useful in a few spots.
So just as a sort of comparison of how much our crits are doing, my crits did 2600 crit damage. Unjust's crit did 200 damage, 250, 247. I think is the exact
It's,
number. Um,
something like that.
it's
And it's gonna get way more broken throughout the run.
exactly. So we have a boss coming up, which is why I've been duplicating so much. Meanwhile, Decep and Unjust have set up another dual dupe so that we can skip one more of Claptrap's lines, while again still preserving these echo logs. So we can get the first boss fight spawned immediately. So first boss of the game, and he's dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, that's a boss.
Yeah. You can see how this crit duplication method can be very, very broken just right off the bat.
And one thing there, after the fight, I grab Claptrap's eye as soon as I can, and then I save quit out. I'll load back in and then save quit again. This just pushes Claptrap up the hill and basically just turns a minute of waiting into 45 seconds of running, which gives Deceptix and ZZ to do something else.
So right here, ZZ and I are going to join as new characters, and drop the echo log that you're given each time you start a new character. We have nothing else to do here, so in the downtime, we drop our echoes so that we can use them later in the run for more dialogue skips.
Commando here. Let's
Are you still in game?
It'll be fine.
Let me get that for you.
Mine saves active.
Whatever. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine, yeah.
You're welcome. Perks of being an artificial
So the
intelligence.
only reason we're allowed to do that is because one of the quirks of the rules of this game, to account for in case anyone crashes or DCs or anything, is that players only have to be in the game for all objectives. So if there's no objective updating during the time when you leave the game, it's completely fine to leave the game. Likewise, right once they pick up the echoes they were dropping, they're going to quit out of the game.
I only saw
I'm
4
gonna travel.
echoes.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that okay? Oh, the 5th one. Okay,
Well,
never mind.
So they quit out of the game before I travel there because if you're in solo, you can travel immediately, but in co-op there's like a 5-second countdown just to make sure everyone in your game is ready to travel. So they just quit out there to avoid that. Say it's a couple seconds.
So while we were in the main menu there, I actually rebound one of my swap keys because I'm going to be doing a cool little combat tech. Unjust talked a little earlier about double shotting. You can actually do it a different way. So instead of meleeing, you can swap away from your weapon. It'll achieve the same effect. But if you swap back to the gun and then redo the inputs for the double shot, you can actually chain them together to turn any gun into a full auto mass destruction. It's only useful in one spot, and that spot only. But yeah, it's a little bit of time save. So
I mean, technically I could do that throughout the run, but I'm bad, so I
It's
don't.
also you don't get as much accuracy with it. So
yeah,
It's
you don't
very
get.
hard to use.
So it only works there because I can shove my face in the balloon monk spawns.
so this
And
is
they
actually a
have,
really interesting fight in how coordinated we are in doing it. Decep and I stay back to kill certain spawns, while Unjust moves forward into the camp to get an angle on some of the other spawns. So
That was beautiful.
yeah, it's a really neat game of coordination for who's doing what.
Yeah, that is the most coordinated fight in the game.
For a couple of reasons. One, because of how much we have to route it, and two, because generally we're not going to be doing the same quest at the same time. So that was
And
just
also, the spawns there are 100% consistent as well. So
Yeah,
take the book.
there's a little bit of variance, but you get like 3 spawns on the same side, and then it's mostly all the same.
So one thing to note again throughout the early game is that there's kind of like objective. You complete an objective, listen to dialogue. Complete an objective, listen to dialogue. So we're going to be save quitting after pretty much most objective updates throughout the run. We have one more save quit.
We
coming
don't
up
have one more
after
save
this.
quit. We just did our last save
Oh
quit.
no, we did. Yeah, I always forget that. Ideally, that'll be the last save quit of the run, but it's RNG dependent, so we'll see.
At your service.
So after this cutscene, Zzz's gonna play another echo to skip some dialogue. Normally you have to wait before being able to give the eye to Hammerlock after meeting him, but skip his dialogue and you can do it instantly. So what we're doing here is we're actually traveling back to Windshear Waste This achieves the same effect as a save quit without save quitting. We need to do that for a certain reason that Unjust can explain.
So basically, once you load in from the main menu for the first time, you're starting a global timer that'll continuously tick, even in load screens and everything. And if we save quit right there, which is what the old route used to do, is that we'll actually reset that global timer. And we need that global timer to be active for a certain number of time, otherwise it'll cost us a lot of issues later on. So basically, we just travel out there and travel out to get like have it tick for an extra minute or so.
Essentially, we're losing time there to save time later.
Yeah, we made some optimizations to the early game, which made it a lot faster, which means we need the global timer to be running for longer.
One of the weird quirks when it came to routing this game, just figuring out how to get around that global timer issue.
Your
here
book is on Hammerlock.
Okay, that's fine. So here we see like the first instance of like splitting up throughout the co-op run. It may be co-op, but we don't really spend that much time to get it throughout this run. There's a whole bunch of side quests, and it's the main reason we have 3 people as opposed to just 1 or 2 is because you can just the division of labor is very nice throughout the run. ZZ is gonna be babysitting Claptrap and just pushing him forward. I'm gonna be handling all the side quests in the area, and Deceptix is actually gonna do a nifty out of bounds to get very far ahead of where you're supposed to be, get past a bunch of invisible walls, and just to beat a spot where you need to be for the main quest later.
Yeah, so normally you're locked off on the side of the map that we're on currently until you reach a certain story objective, but you can actually do a nifty little out of bounds to hit a save point on the other half of the map, which you can then death warp to get to, getting past all the invisible walls, and getting you further ahead than you're supposed to be. So instead of doing the story that as you would normally, and then running all the way to the next objective, I will be at the objective instantly as it comes up, and I am able to do it. So right here, I'm gonna hit the save through this icicle, and then die to the cold water.
It's cold.
Very cold.
Cold enough to kill you.
Apparently. The one thing that becomes an issue very, very quickly in this game is spawn locking. Basically, the idea behind that is that there's a spawn cap in this game, and it is very, very low. And when you have 3 people in 3 different areas, all needing specific spawns for different side missions and whatnot, it becomes a huge issue in many different places throughout the run. So in a lot of areas, we'll just be trying to clear as many spawns as possible to avoid the spawn locking issue.
I should probably clarify. The diamond horse I've been telling you about.
Alright, so we have the next boss coming up pretty soon. Which is the arena that I'm in currently. We just have to wait for the boss to spawn. The trigger for the boss to spawn. You'll be fine. Okay.
Blood Stallion says hello.
Fuck. Okay. I was trying to. You can technically shoot the boss before the cutscene starts, but I missed it right there. But next boss in the game, same as the first. Oh.
Yeah, it's a boss. Sarcastic quotation.
Okay, hang on. I'm having issues. We're good.
Hitbox problems?
Yeah.
That's one thing about off-host in this game is that hitboxes and pretty much everything else in the game aren't what they should be due to desync issues, especially when you have the amount of glitches we have going on.
Alright, so I picked up Grenade Mod, which triggered dialogue text, which has super, super high priority. So while the dialogue was being played and the tutorial was being played, every dialogue underneath it got skipped, which is why I was able to shoot the cannon as quickly as I can. But as soon as I shot the cannon, Decep was able to move on to his part of the story because he was already at the place he needs to be.
Well done. Now, if you could return to Liarsburg, we could see about getting you off this frigid glacier.
Are you getting your spawns?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have rack spawn still.
I always have rack spawns.
Cleared some? Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I think I cleared all of them. So this is where we kind of have to work to make sure we're not limiting our spawns so that all of us are getting the spawns that we need. Except for the story. Me, I'm just trying to get some extra XP. We want to hit level 6 as fast as possible for the big glitch in the run, which Decep and I both now have.
Can I give you the sniper?
Yes.
If you want to survive out here for any length of time, you'll need a better shield.
So
90.
right there, that's nice. Oh, I got a die up too. That was good RNG.
Hello, Mark.
Elevator up there.
So right here, I did the first instance of what's known as a quest swap.
Do you have to get up?
Basically,
You're good.
Good to die?
Yep.
Okay.
so basically, just every quest in the game, main quests and side quests, have a very high priority line of dialogue when they first play them to just introduce, what to do in the quest. If you grab this line of dialogue underneath another high line of priority, another high priority line of dialogue, you can then preserve it in your quest log. You can then play that quest at any time, and it'll skip most dialogue in the game. There's some exceptions, but so basically we can turn every quest that we pick up in the game into a dialogue skip, and this is the main source of dialogue skipping throughout the run.
So with the next boss coming up, the Deceptix gonna be going right to the area that he spawns at. So this one's actually gonna be a slightly different boss fight from the first two. For the first two bosses, we wanted to kill as fast as possible. Deceptix gonna try and delay the kill slightly. We'll see if he gets it. It's not always consistent whether you get it or not, but he's trying to go for a trick. We'll see if he gets it.
Yeah, instead of instantly killing him, I'm actually going to delay the kill a little bit. Wait for him to play Minecraft. We'll see if that works.
Okay,
Nice.
All right.
perfect.
So what happened right there is one of the burning psychos actually hit Claptrap's move trigger early. So we're supposed to kill everyone else in this fight before Claptrap will start moving and opening the door. However, if we kill Flint in a certain spot, then the psychos will hit his move trigger, move him along earlier. So we don't need to do this fighting. Saves a decent amount of time.
You do a few,
speed?
a little bit of speed.
Okay.
I got it really early.
Hey, do you want to explain expertise?
Yep, so the reason that we needed to hit level 6 was for the skill that we spec'd into expertise. I'll be fine. Everything's fine.
Right.
So we spec'd in the skill called expertise. How expertise works is whenever you're aimed down the sight of a gun, you get a little bit extra move speed. However, for Alpha's characters, it doesn't track the gun whether it's scoped in or not properly. So if you scope in and drop the weapon while you're scoped in, it just never removes the speed stack. So we can, Decep and I are constantly going to be scoping in and dropping our guns throughout the course of the run. That's going to be constantly be adding speed to us. So you can sort of tell a little bit right now. We have slightly increased move speed, but as we'll see a little bit later after this area, it's going to be very apparent how much extra move speed we get.
Yeah, like as you can see here, I start running before ZZ even loads in, and he immediately takes me over, and it's far more ridiculous at the run.
So we're in this, one of the main reasons that people run co-op. So we're in this area for one side quest and one side quest only. There's a single boss that spawns, and that's it. So I'm going to the area that the boss spawns, and then we're going to travel out, and that's going to be it. So go.
We used to do this at an earlier point, but it was really awkward when it came to routing it in when we did it. But with the out of bounds that we did, or that I did in Southern Shelf, it helps us do it later. First of all, when we have more movement speed, and yeah, movement speed and damage. So it's just a lot easier.
We were also able to route it around these extra kills that Deceptix is doing. Next we have to hit level 8 at a certain time. So getting these kills now gets us to level 8 at the time that we need to. So just a nice coincidence that we were able to route it around that.
So Deceptix and ZZ are just gonna run forward here, and then they're gonna go for a nifty jump while I do a death warp to the catcher ride. This whole area we're in right now is completely surrounded by invisible barriers. But if you have the same amount of speed that Deceptix Easy do, you can just jump around that. So they're going to be
there's an
taking
empty
care
hole.
of just a slight dock they can land on.
Try requesting another car.
So they're going to do all the objectives on that side of the map while I take care of the ones over here.
Grip real charmer that way.
And then, because Unjust can't move as fast as us, I'm gonna spawn a second car for him to teleport to, so he can get directly over here without, you know,
What I've been hearing.
moving his little gauge legs.
Feeble little gauge legs.
Reese is in trouble? Damn it. Spread thin enough as it is. Find him, soldier. Goddamn Bloodshots, there's too many of them. If anyone can hear me, I need help. Just get
So right here is Zuzu's going to do the first instance of scroll interacting. Basically, in a few places in the game, if you talk to a character within, or talk to a character twice in the same tick, sometimes it just skips their dialogue. It's a very niche case. I'm not entirely sure what causes it, but to achieve this, we just bind interact to mouse wheel, and then we scroll interact, we call it, on the character, and that skips their dialogue. It's not applicable in that many places, like I said, but throughout the run it saves like a minute total or something, which is really nice.
Yeah, it saves a very large amount of time.
For the couple of instances that it's used, it saves a lot of time.
So right here I'm going to cap my FPS to 30. Capping my FPS to 30 makes Jessup here move a bit quicker. There's a few other places in the run where that's applicable, so if you see me capping, that's the reason why I'm doing it.
Alright, so we're going for something difficult here, so...
Finest
2,
interplanetary
1,
mining ship.
go.
No, I'm not in mine,
Okay.
so I'll wait.
Yeah,
So-
wait for the dialogue.
So basically right here, there's just 3 characters we need to talk to, and all of them have a cutscene associated with them. So basically we're trying to enter all 3 cutscenes at the same time, and this all will play, but you only need to watch one.
Yeah, so we got 2 out of 3 there, and then we're gonna watch the third. So not bad. But
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not too bad.
I stood further back
It's
than I
not
usually
bad.
do.
Attention. I only have one question to ask.
Alright, so Decept picked up the quest and the echo next to Marcus at a certain time that uses the super high priority from the quest dialogue and transfers it onto the echo right next to it. So now Roland talking right now has incredibly high priority and is skipping all of the dialogue in this area, which makes it go really, really quickly. The difference between getting this and not getting this is staggering.
It's like a minute at least difference.
Yes, it's quite big. Otherwise, this area is just a whole bunch of dialogue and a whole bunch of waiting, and this just skips all of it.
Oh, we can skip Janice.
Given the blank look
Nice.
on you, do you have a progress update?
Oh, crap! Firehawk's got him, Roland's in
Go, whatever.
deep. You gotta get Frostburn Cannon and rescue his ass.
If Roland has been
This is a recorded message to any Crimson
I was
Ravens in the
far behind.
area.
All good.
That was really difficult
Masquerading as bandits.
to get everything done in
Hiding
time.
out in
Alright.
Hyperion, Hypedol, Jacobs.
Actually, it's not really good. Just give it standard.
Jacob stock makes the the Hyperion not worth. Or the Hyperion barrel not great.
of their refuse. That suggests a primate bullymong. Rubbish.
I don't have a I have a
I'd like a better
regular.
one for my almanac.
So sorry, in Sanctuary there's always a lot going on, and there's just a lot of communication we need to get done. It's always very hectic.
Your name for the beasts.
What we're doing now is probably the first big RNG quest specifically in the game. We have to do different things with these bullymongs to complete Hammerlock's research, and we're kind of at the mercy of just what the enemies do and what we get spawned. We can lose a significant amount of time just based on getting the wrong spawns.
Ugh, sod it. I'm so sick of coming up with
So while we're doing this quest, Unjust is driving to the next area for the story.
Right, we're calling them Bonafarts now. Just kill a few of them or something. I don't care anymore.
Got two.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, so we're
So
good.
that went pretty well, considering that quest can be
the Firehawks
very,
should
very
be
bad.
around here
So that
somewhere.
wasn't too bad.
Stay alert. That's weird.
So Frostburn's one of the like really cool movement areas. There's tight close quarters, a lot of obstacles we have to move around. One big thing about off-host Axton movement is there's actually a speed cap in this game if you are in the air. So if you're in the air, you get dropped instantly down to 4,000 units. For reference, normal running speed is about like 590. But that's
it's
a
still
lot
fast.
slower than so like 4,000 is still fast, but it's a lot slower than what we could be running if we are stuck on the floor. So a lot of the routing with our movement is trying to keep our feet grounded, because we can keep gaining speed and just keep our speed.
How you doing? The bandits come. Could you help me up?
So right here, ZZ and I die at a specific time to achieve a glitch called Moonwalk, which is basically just means you can move while in the respawning animation. Also, while during the cutscene there, I rebound to Skull Interact. If you talk to Lilith twice in the same tick, you can skip her dialogue that she normally
They're all
has.
fake.
I have a few. I can drop one, that's all I have.
Yeah, that's
Alright,
fine.
that's fine. Wait,
Did you grab
do
it?
not- okay. Yep.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So that's
Okay.
another instance of Scroll Interact, skipping dialogue. You can do it again
Yeah.
at the end of the area, which is what I will do.
That one, weirdly enough, actually skips animations as well. So I have really no clue why that works.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's really weird.
Traps. Don't let
The old strat used to be just
Hello there, Luke.
use 2 quests and quest skip through both dialogue. But now we can preserve those quest skips for later.
Alright, so Unjust is doing a story wave fight. We just kind of have to kill enemies as they spawn. While Decep, he's running throughout the area. He's doing 2 things. He's one, just killing enemies to get even more XP, because the next level cap that we need to hit is level 10 at a very specific area. So any XP that we can get helps. But he's also looking at different chests and drops throughout the area, trying to get certain weapons that we need. We can get them other ways, and we generally have to get them other ways. But if we're able to get them just in this area as random drops, that's doubly helpful.
We're on
Dagger launcher.
Ooh, that's
bad.
nice.
It's also green. So
We're done.
my apologies. I am very, very late.
Okay.
Just turn in.
Leave it here.
I'll turn.
Yeah.
Don't
Just
turn it yet.
don't turn.
The vault open. My siren powers have been getting a little.
You're good now.
Before the Bloodshot Stronghold, Roland was getting intel on the vault and what Jack's plans.
Alright, so and then 1/3 thing that Decep achieves by running back to the area is just running back to the chapel at the very start.
I'm gonna teleport you into the Bloodshot Stronghold.
That's where they're keeping.
Alright.
All right, killer. I'm back in Sanctuary.
So
The Bloodshot
moving on with the story, we're trying to infiltrate
bullets for you.
some stronghold so we need to pretend like I didn't get Lee. So we're doing that, but we're making a pit stop in this area to do one of the side quests here. It unlocks the fast travel station for this area, which is why we do it early, because we use that fast travel a couple times. But it also gets us, again, a little bit more XP so that we can hit level 10, or we need it level 10.
Yeah, and this is another area where spawn locking comes into plays a huge factor. ZZ and Deceptix both need specific spawns for the quest we're doing. And so basically the whole area is just clear spawns until you get those, and then leave.
You got that already?
My first spawn was the spawn I needed.
Well, that was
Nice.
serendipitous.
That was
Killed the other spawns too.
yeah, obviously. That was just kind of
There.
funny.
And then, funny enough, this last spawn that I get finishes the quest that we did. Oh no, you finished it beforehand. Never
Oh,
mind.
we already had. Go when you get there. And then right here, I'm going to turn in this quest in between the travel ticks. The game only checks to see if anyone's in a menu every second. So if you do it in between that time frame, you can turn in quests between ticks. we'll do that all throughout the run, and it saves just a few seconds every couple travels or so.
You've been off the Echo for hours. Thought you might have got banged or something.
It also looks cool.
It does.
I should have killed your
So what I did right there is I talked to Ellie before watching her cutscene. For certain specific NPCs, there's 2 in this run. You can actually talk to them before watching their cutscene, which will skip her dialogue because she overwrites herself while she talks in the cutscene, which allows us to get car parts instantly, which is the next objective we need to get done.
We're only able to do this because the character exists in world before their cutscene happens. So I'm really low on ammo.
I believe in you.
I don't.
We got level
I'm
up.
coming to help. I'm low on ammo
Oh.
too, but
Level up bonus helps.
yeah, it does.
Oh, that's one another thing about this game is that whenever you level up, you gain 100% damage for 30 seconds.
Check your spot.
It's very hard to route in, but it can be useful in certain spots.
But I generally don't like letting him get tortured any longer than I have to. You got the parts?
I'm not level 10 yet.
Just bring him back and we'll get you rolling.
Interesting. I'll kill some
One
things
XP.
Okay.
What's in the
if I can get a spawn.
box? Too slow. Go back and get
There you
more
go.
packages.
You can go.
Tino could have made those deliveries
So right here we hit level 10. Like ZZ said earlier, when you hit level 10 for a specific milestone, level 10 is when launchers start to spawn. You need a Vladoff rocket launcher for a reason we'll explain shortly.
No jobs for you.
No.
Bushwhack. 30.
36 coach.
Scattergun.
Okay, I have one. We good? Yes, it's easy.
Yeah, I have.
Hurry up and wait.
I have ammo. That's
Okay,
fine.
that went well. So that was first try RNG. It's typically very hectic. That was a lot calmer than we usually are there. So basically, we need a Vladoff rocket launcher because in this game, Vladoff rocket launchers have an ammo-saving property. So every third shot, they will not consume ammo. So if you get the Vladoff to the free shot and then swap away and swap back, you will actually stack this effect onto your character. You can do this multiple times, any number of times on this patch. And thus, no gun in the game will consume ammo. We then use Jacob shotguns because Jacob shotguns have a very high base damage and a lot of pellets, which is really good when you are using
where those are.
using
Sorry.
crit damage.
It's fine.
They also have an effect where they can fire as fast as you can pull a trigger, and I have shoot bound to mouse wheel down, or I will shortly, and thus I can fire my Jacob shotgun essentially to fire a cap. I'm also speccing into a skill at this point called Close Enough, where any bullets I shoot that hit a surface instead of an enemy will have a 50% chance to ricochet towards an enemy. So I can basically just shoot the floor and everything around me will fall over. Pretty great.
It's why Gage is so strong in the run.
So right there, if you bind interact to the scroll wheel and interact on the wheel that brings down the drawbridge multiple times, it'll actually move faster. You know, we just gotta we spin the wheel faster, the bridge moves faster. That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why we didn't think of this before.
And then Bloodshot Stronghold is actually a really cool map. There's only a trigger at the beginning and at the very end, so we can actually skip the entirety of it by doing a neat little out of bounds, and then leading that into a double nade jump, which I am doing right now. Hopefully grenades are on my side today. Apparently the answer is no. Unfortunately, yeah. Off-hosting grenades are kind of they don't mesh well together. So sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It's kind of RNG, but you know, oh well. I did get an extra grenade, so I can do this version of the out of bounds just fine.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah. That's
one thing you can
Bloodshot.
see here is that with my shotgun and infinite ammo, I
Vault Hunter.
kind of just obliterate everything in my
meet
path.
you in person.
Hell
of a job
and I don't even have
fighting
to
through
aim
those
at them,
bloodshot.
so it's very high skill gameplay.
So
Just take a second.
this is the part of the run where everything ramps up so much. Because while all that's happening, in the previous area we picked up a unique weapon called the Gwen's Head, It spawns every single time you load into the dust in one of 5 locations, and essentially simplifying things down a lot, it multiplies your crit damage instead of adding on to it. Again, there's a much more technical description of what it does, but effectively what it ends up doing is makes our crit rise faster, quicker. So, faster, quicker, are the same word. They rise at a faster rate because we're multiplying our crit damage instead of just adding on to it with the snipers. So, you'll see Decep and I now mixing those weapons into our dupes instead of just duping the sniper. So, in this area, Bloodshot Ramparts is another one of the really fun movement areas. Really tight corridors, really fast movement, and really tight turns. Really fun to run through, and we run through it a couple times throughout the round.
So one thing to note here is that I will be timing a travel out for the objective is to travel out right after Deceptix kills the boss at the end of the map. Typically there's a wave fight you have to do at the end of the map, but if you travel out and travel back, you can just skip that. So we travel out and travel back, and then you get to do the fun movement back through ramparts again. And it's significantly faster than just doing the wave fight. Although you do miss out on
keep
XP.
following me. There's a gun on Warden's dead body.
Got it.
So XP is not really no longer a concern in this run.
Yeah, we don't need the XP, so skipping the wave fight isn't a big issue.
It's a lot bigger of a deal than 90% though. XP.
There's no gun.
Darn.
This isn't like the pre-sequel. Doing every quest in the game is enough XP for us.
Usually.
So we're going back to Sanctuary to pick up a handful of side quests and turn in the main story.
Right. Sorry. Hi.
So here we time another travel out and just pick up missions and objective items in between ticks. I'm gonna play a quest as soon as we load in. It's not a quest skip, it saves a very considerable amount of time.
I can get 3 with 1 shot.
Oh my gosh. So here we need to kill enemies with fire damage, and we have a fire launcher, so it's really easy.
Hi, fun fact, when you have rocket speed on a fire launcher, everything dies.
Yeah.
Go.
So what we're doing now, there are a handful of quests in this game that are like quest trails, quest lines, side quest lines, where it's one quest that you do 5 different parts to. So we're doing one. We're starting the first half of it right now, and pretty straightforward. We're doing it now just because it's a convenient time to do it. So Decep's running through the area to finish the second part of this. We're staying in the same property with echoes, skipping dialogue. We're using here to skip some of the dialogue and for this quest line.
Yeah. So there's a mission where you have to pick up these echo recorders, which we can use to skip lines of dialogue, thankfully.
Very conveniently placed.
Yeah, the 2 quests left in this area, we can use one to skip the other, which is kind of nice. So I'll pick up one here, just as easy we'll pick up the other one, then travel out. And then turn the mission in between ticks, and that's the last time we'll see Southern Shelf.
And we're moving on to back to the story. Meeting everyone's favorite character. With the new game coming out.
Yeah, so in this map, Unjust is going to time a travel out. So I'm going to do the next objective, and then we're going to travel out. It'll actually skip a cutscene, which has a few beneficial effects. You're good?
Not only just saving time from skipping the cutscene, because that's also a beneficial effect, but there's one other side effect that's really helpful for some of the side quests that we have to do in the area.
If you watch the Mordecai cutscene, he will attempt to help you by sniping enemies from below. This doesn't help us whatsoever because there's a quest we need to do in this map.
Or we need to keep enemies alive for?
Yeah,
we don't need Mordecai killing them.
So Mordecai can very easily kill them. So skipping the cutscene, first of all, saves time, and second of all, allows us to not have to worry about him shooting the pods.
He was very unhelpful, but he tries.
He tries. So this was the second instance of being able to talk to a character. I got it.
Oh, nice.
Talking to a character before their cutscene, since they're in world. I unfortunately missed it, but they exist for Tina exists in a split second in the world, and before she teleports into. I picked that up too early. Before she teleports.
If you talk to her after the cutscene, it takes longer. You're good.
So here, I tend to travel out. This actually soft locks Tina here. So to fix that, we have to travel and travel back. But we need to travel it anyway to come back to this area, so we just do it now because we have to anyway.
Yeah, we soft lock her because it's faster to do it. Funny enough.
And we need to come back here anyway, so it works out perfectly.
So Deceptix gets to do super skip again. We need to get.
Grenades are kind this time.
We have to get back to Bloodshot Ramparts. So fastest way getting there is super skip. And while he's doing that, I get to kill a few bosses in this area. Bosses.
Yes, bosses.
Bosses. 4 of them, and they're all dead before Deceptix can even do super skip.
I remember when I used to beat you. You've improved over time.
Yep. Well, we all whenever we get first try, I never had issues. So
That's true as well.
Fair enough.
but the fact that
So yeah,
I'm
this is the last time we come to Ramparts for this side quest. We're attempting to install a core into a body. He attempts to kill us.
He's almost succeeding. Okay, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, we come back to Tundra here. This is another huge area where spawn locking plays a role. I'm at a bandit camp. ZZ's at a completely different bandit camp. And Unjust has to play around Varkid spawns and a quest that will spawn more enemies. So a lot of it is making sure that we don't reach the spawn cap. And if we do, we need to clear the enemies.
I got the first one.
Remedy it.
So one of the side quests in the area is getting these Varkids to pod up. And we need these pods alive so that we can mutate them. I can get 3. Yeah, I can get 2. I have 2.
Cool.
So we need them alive to mutate them, and Mordecai will just kill the pods, and we won't be able to mutate them. So skipping Mordecai's cutscene definitely helps with that. Now we have all of them, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I hope so, because I killed a pod.
I'm starting another quest here that also has enemy spawns. So literally everything we're doing in here requires specific spawns, and so spawn locking is just
I have all my buzzards.
Oh my, that's really good.
I just need him in a better location.
Okay, I'm spawn locked on Willows even. Getting him slow. We're good?
Coming when?
Go.
Unfortunate.
Go.
That went really well, actually.
Yeah, that went really well. Good RNG, good spawn manipulation. That was nice.
So, starting now is when I'll be doing a glitch known as Buck Up. Gage has a skill called Buck Up, where she will, with Death Trap, will attempt to restore her shield if she is not at, ooh, that's nice, if she is not at full capacity. So if I drop my shield, I'm not at full capacity. And if you have the Buck Up effect being procced as you leave an area, the game won't remove this from your character, and thus it'll think you're constantly regenerating your shield. This effect can stack multiple times and can even be transferred off host characters. So we'll be doing that throughout the run just to give us a bunch more survivability.
Boss, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, that was yeah, okay.
I'll give you the shotgun at Davis.
Okay, that works.
Yes.
So, what we did with Roland's Echo whenever we first got into Sanctuary, we're doing again, except with echoes that we have in our inventory. And with this starting quest, there's...
Drop it.
Oh, I did? Oh, perfect. So, by doing... We have to play 3 echoes to achieve this, but in doing that, we're able to turn this echo into really, really high priority, which skips all the dialogue in the area, which is really, really fast.
And this is actually the reason we get Maya's echo specifically at the start of the game. Her echo is just one uninterrupted, very long line of dialogue, and thus it skips a lot of other dialogue because it's just very long, and we've given them very high priority.
If the echo line changes, like who's talking at any point, then that second line won't have the super high priority. So that's why Maya's is just Maya talking, which is why it's able to skip so much.
So typically here the fast travel gets locked up once you hit a certain objective, but if I get into it early, I can just sit in it and wait. And then I'm going to kind of travel out. This will skip a very long cutscene where you're watching the Sanctuary escape from Jack's attack. But if we travel out, we can just avoid that. And that's
shotgun.
Also a reason. Oh, shotgun, yes. Thank you.
So, we actually rerouted this part. What we used to do is just have one Axton run to the main quest, which was Easy's doing right now, and then we just waited. It was kind of slow, inefficient. So now, Unjust uses a geyser to boost himself to a mini-boss that we need to kill for a quest, while I deliver mail. I'm a mailman now. And while this also saves time because we're doing multiple different things at once, it also sets up a quest skip that we can use later on, which is very important. And we'll get into detail about that in a bit.
That little section there is probably my favorite reroute of the game, just because of the geyser stretch are kind of funny, and it also just saves a bunch of time in other parts of the run as well.
It's the fastest gauge moves in the run.
That's true. Well, car strats.
The fastest gauge moves in the run.
Well, I'm moving via
Nope.
moving via proxy.
No, you're not.
You are not moving.
Fair enough.
So like we said before, the buck up glitch can be transferred to co-op characters, so I can get a stack of buck up right here. And I might be able to get two if we can kill some enemies.
So at this part of the game, we're actually locked out of the hub map, which consequently locks every other quest that is related to people in Sanctuary, except for Splinter Group, which is the quest that we just used to skip more dialogue in this area. So that works out like perfectly. We used to have to do a travel out, travel back, a bunch of just juggling travels, which was quite annoying.
How far behind are you on XP? Holy!
I'm Gage. I don't get XP.
Okay, so now that we're past that, we have Overlook, which is another really fun,
Very exciting area.
very exciting area. So what's supposed to happen is we're supposed to place a beacon, and then Jack's supposed to attack us to try and kill us with enemies. But there's a fun little failsafe, I guess is the best way of putting it, that we have, that Gearbox put in place, where if the beacon gets destroyed 7 or 8 times, then the beacon becomes invincible. It's Gearbox's way of saying, hey, you're struggling trying to defend this, don't worry about defending this, just stay alive. Well, if we save quit or travel out after that 7th or 8th time, then the quest just completes. So we break the beacon by traveling in and out, or again, save quitting in solo. And by doing that over and over, we force the beacon to break, repair it, and turn the beacon invincible, and then save quit. And it just completes this entire area.
Yeah, this
Skipped
is like
a heavily RNG wave fight.
Heavily RNG, a long wave fight, even
Yeah,
with
it's
the travel
very boring.
times and travel delays and running back and forth.
While sitting in load screens is boring, that combat is probably worse.
it is worse.
It also
So-
saves, I think, like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was one of the more significant
That might not work.
skips found in recent years.
Okay, it did. It gives us a little bit of time, one, to regroup and like catch our breath a little bit, but it also lets the Axtons get some buck up stacks. Not as important in all quests, because there are a bunch of places where an Axton's sitting at a travel with a gauge that they can get buck up, but especially for any percent speedruns, this is the one time that the gauge has Axtons nearby that you can transfer the buck up stacks to.
Yeah, it actually comes at the perfect time because with the spec we do, you just get it at this point to 90%.
Oh, we can swap, by the way, if you need one more still.
No, I get one. Yeah.
You can get it at clan one. Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with just one right at this point.
And you can get one a bunker too, so.
Yeah, I get like 3 extra ones throughout the run. 2 or 3 extra ones. Just because you're doing stuff while I go with Unjust.
And this shotgun you've had, Decep, it's very nice.
No, it's
It's
not.
very
It's
Hyperion.
bad.
Minus the sight, but what do you mean it's
Almost.
bad?
Hyperion
What are
grip.
you talking about with my shotgun?
It's shiny, but like Hyperion grip. Come on.
Unbelievable.
Jacob's site hype stock though, so
True. It's
How's it
very
hype stack?
accurate.
it's almost as pretty as you.
Oh, shut up. So there we are. That check mark is the quest just completing. So we can just travel back to Sanctuary without having to fight a single enemy.
The fast travel has landed. Give me a second while I calibrate it to Sanctuary's new position.
So we get the fast travel delivered to us.
Fast travel station calibrated. Location, Sanctuary.
Good fire sniper, but we don't need a fire sniper.
Go quickly.
Just
No,
send this
I have a fire AR.
Get back to Sanctuary.
Oh, the nice.
Alright, so we're back at Sanctuary. At this point in the game, if you're just blitzing through the story, doing nothing but story missions, this is the point in the game where you're going to get a little under-leveled. So it's... Oh, hello?
Stop doing things.
I didn't. Okay, this is...
Stop doing things.
This is bad.
We're fine. You can do
We're
things
fine.
now. You can do things now.
We don't have won't get pulled again.
Oh, yeah, that's a little bad.
If anyone's gonna shut her down, it has to be you.
We're
Yeah,
fine.
Go again. Go again.
It's the Hyperion Preserve. I think I know how to get past the first round.
Yes. So this is a natural point that Gearbox is kind of starting to really push you into do side quests, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to kill the enemies in the next area. So we take this opportunity to do a little bit of the clan war mission quest line. We do it for a couple of reasons. One, it's a really long line that we have to travel between a couple different areas to complete, but it also progresses it to a part that where we can get a weapon that is really helpful for the run. So we don't get it quite yet, but we get it to the point where we can get the weapon as soon as possible. So we're doing a couple things. Unjust is doing the Clan Wars sideline side quest, whereas I'm doing a side quest that's effectively the main story quest in this area. Just kill cars and get parts. So I have one more. I got it. Yeah, not just.
Go.
That area is actually really difficult, at least on my end, because the cars do a lot of damage to you, and I'm just a human that takes a lot of damage from vehicles shooting at me. So we're now in the next area of the Clan War side quest, and Clan War actually isn't the important quest that we're doing in this area. There's a whole bunch of areas quests in this area that we take care of at the same time. So we're all just spread through the area doing different objectives in the same mission line.
This is when you can. This is when the dialogue starts to just get a little crazy. Things start overlapping one another over and over and over again.
And some of the
It'll be
dialogue.
rare that we hear a full line.
Yeah, some of the lines are spawned by RNG spawns, so every single time we go through this area, the dialogue's going to be different. It's actually kind of interesting. You seem to be struggling with your
Now,
RNG.
me? Never.
I say as I struggle. We're fine. How many do you have?
3.
Ooh,
I'll be okay.
That'll be fine. Probably.
no, you have 4.
So just like what I did back in Three Horns Divide, I'm going to spawn a car at the town of Overlook for Unjust to travel to car. Because, you know, feeble little gauge legs can't move that fast, so car warping is a very easy way to get the gauge across the map.
No, you just need one more, by the way. Oop, there was one laying on the ground.
Alright.
So I get to run throughout pretty much every area. Through a good part of the map, so it's just a lot of running, which is really fun. Fun for me. A part that I enjoy a lot.
Yeah, this map's really cool.
And I'm just an overlook, because there's a bunch of different just quests around here that you just need to hit E and a bunch of different things, so it's my job, considering it's a bunch of stuff in just one area.
Sorry about Dave. He's a... Now that our brains aren't going to rot from the inside,
He also gets the benefit of finally being able to clear up some of his inventory.
Yeah, it's been pretty full, because I gotta carry the echoes, and this quest requires shields. So I have to carry 5 shields and 6 echoes, so I don't get a whole lot of backpack space. You're really low in XP.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I don't have a shield.
You don't need one, you're fine.
So here again, I'm going to count my FPS. There's an area in the next, there's a character in the next area where he seems to move faster if I'm on 30 FPS. I don't know, haven't really done much testing. It seems like it though, so.
Superstition at this point.
Go.
More or less.
So here we have every favorite Co-op All Quest runner's character. Mick Zafford, and the other clan in the clan war. He definitely doesn't lose any time for anyone in a run.
Never.
Go.
He also adorably tried to write a book about his
Here I'm going to turn in between ticks again. And we travel out and travel back just to skip a bit of dialogue and some more animations. And so at this point, Mick Zafford just needs to get to... Well, he needs to open a door for us for the quest. And he is in this corner. Now when we load into this map, every character in this bar gets a move trigger to come block him in this corner for some reason. So sometimes he just gets stuck there and he will not get out. Here we got lucky and he did it immediately, so that was helpful. You can actually just lose runs to him getting stuck in the corner. It is very frustrating. Oh my, come look at this amp shield in this vendor.
I won't look at the amp, but you can look at this.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Get ready?
And go.
I was hoping you just bought the amp and left it there for me to see.
First maker of stalkers.
Alright. Well, oh, no, we're done with that quest. We finished.
Oh, okay.
We're good. I can turn it in, right?
Yeah, if you want to.
Why not?
So yeah, we're just going back and forth in a lot of the split between the Dust and Overlook, just to do the clan war mostly. This is the biggest cleanup split in the run.
The biggest pure side quest. I guess it's not entirely true.
Unless you want to count the end.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
Okay. Once you count after we've done the main story, then yeah. This is the biggest, during the main story, this is the largest cleanup focus split.
And simply because of clan war. Having to oscillate between the two areas. I don't have his shields easy, so we might be fighting for buck up here.
That's fine. Oh, I only have one. I can give you my shield, because I have the 16 one.
I'll ding it to be fine. Probably.
One, two, go. None of the cars got stuck.
Alright, welcome to Friendship Gulag. A pretty weird map, honestly. We come here to grab a singular echo and leave. That's it. That's all that Friendship Gulag really has to offer. Technically, if you take too long during one of the main story quests, it'll bring you here. But, you know.
This is a speedrun. We're gonna take too long for a quest.
Yeah, it's a really underused area. It's kind of...
Underused? That's an understatement.
Yeah. One echo.
Go.
Oh, I'm not ready. Sorry. Yeah. So here is like probably the funniest dialogue skip in the game, I think. Basically, we're doing a quest flip, and then turning in that quest. So you get the next quest in the quest chain under its own dialogue, essentially.
Yeah,
For
like
some reason, even though the quest is turned in, the dialogue keeps playing. And we're about to do the same thing again, right here. One of the funny quirks about having quest chains like Clan War is that you can do funny stuff like this.
The intro dialogue just tells you what you're supposed to do in the quest. So they're telling you what to do after you've already completed it. It's really, really funny.
Yeah, it's
so this is a a very slow part of the Clan War mission. We just kind of have to follow the bagman. So we're kind of... The reason why we save it so much early game is skipping these kind of escort missions and just waiting for animations. We can't do that for this one, unfortunately. We have to travel with him. So it's a good place for Decep and I to catch up on some stacks. We need to dupe a little bit more. The sniper that we have... the reason that we swapped to a different sniper is because the Jacob sniper that we start with, well, it gives us a lot more crit. It hurts our accuracy a lot. So we swapped to a sniper that improves our accuracy, or at the very least just doesn't hurt our accuracy as much as the other one does. So catch up on that, do increase our accuracy, stuff like that, while just gets to trail the bagman.
Go. And I have to spend the whole area running and following this guy, and Deceptix can just catch up to us in 2 seconds with his speed.
Speed.
Alright, so we're just about done with this cleanup section. We have one more quest we have to finish, which I'm going to be finishing while Decep goes to the travel for the next area. And go.
Don't move. At the start of the area here, I'm just gonna play a quest. Ooh, I don't know where it is. There it is. Play quest. This is just gonna skip a bunch of dialogue and avoid a bunch of waiting around.
By waiting around to find the quest.
Is one of the maps that actually has the coolest reroute that we implemented. This area used to have a really long wave fight in the middle of it. Kind of awkward. It was slow. We could spawn lock one another. However, instead, what I'm going to do is another double grenade jump to get on top of this building. And then I'm going to hit a save through a wall. And then Unjust and I are going to death warp to said save, which will put us at the very end of the map. You can die. It'll put us at the very end of the map. Which then we can both spread out and do our own separate out of bounds to put us at 2 different triggers, trigger them like one after the next, and just skip the entirety of that wave fight.
While we are doing the out of bounds here, ZZ's hitting another trigger about halfway through the map that is also necessary.
There's a couple triggers that I have to hit, and objectives I have to do while they're doing that, so that it completes the first half of the area, they complete the second half of the area. Essentially what we did in Southern Shelf, except to a little bit later in the run.
Over here, I am waiting to move forward here. There's a cutscene trigger directly in front of me that is actually active, even though we haven't hit the previous triggers. And if I hit that trigger before we hit the other ones, then we will hard lock and I'll be able to finish the run. So
really important that he doesn't hit that.
Yeah, just a little bit important.
However, hopefully Unjust is smart enough to know that. After doing it all this time.
You think? When do we turn in hidden journals? Do you remember? Because I can use Clan War here and hidden journals.
Hidden journals gets turned in.
Right before Copchop's birthday.
Yeah.
That's where we get torture shares.
Okay, that's fine, probably.
I remember that. Shocked myself.
I don't think we have Into the Rainbow, actually.
Let's put
I guess you can
Rainbow
try
Tag
it.
Night Quest. Pretty sure we do.
Listen to me. I don't care what you do to me.
Ooh,
So
E-Tech.
typically there's a bunch of quest dialogue playing here,
It's
but
an
if we
assault
play the
rifle,
quest, if we do a quest skip before the cutscene, then Bloodwing's just kind of flying around here, silent. It's a little awkward. Thankfully we got this really nice shotgun with the best sight in the game, so this fight is very easy. It's not typically an issue in All Quests, but even with a shotgun like this, it makes it just that much better.
This won't hurt, I promise.
We don't have
In the
it.
height of
Interesting.
extreme paranoia, I hid my notes on the opening of the vault and promptly forgot their locations.
So let's Bloodwing. One nifty reroute we did here is I'm gonna play the new U tutorial dialogue. It's Claptrap, so it's a very high line of very high priority. And this again preserves another quest we used to use.
Reset your skill points.
Great. Take this note to Thousand Cuts. You're going to deliver that note to him.
And there, Deceptix easy, just do a series of grabbing the quest in between
West
ticks.
of the Highlands. If you're looking for the Slab King, that's where he'll be.
And this is a very weird
We're going the
travel
wrong
here.
way.
Lost it.
Just-
Hyperion is dog.
This was probably the most awkward travel in the game, and we use a travel that probably not a lot of players who just played this game casually know about.
Yeah,
just
there's a
puts,
transition to the dust here.
Yeah, for some reason.
Some unknown reason.
And that just puts me, the Gauge, at a nice spot here, where I need to grab.
Yeah, it's actually a perfect spot. Like right where you need to be for 2 turn-ins. Or I
Perfect.
guess 1, but
one turn and one quest grab.
yeah.
So the reason we did as much of Clan War as we did previously is because turning in this quest for Clan War gives us the Triquetra, which is a guaranteed Jacob's shotgun, and it's a very, very good Jacob's shotgun. Mine's perfect.
Good, because mine is the worst.
I got Forged, Hyperion, Sidewinder.
Yeah, I just saw damage number. Yeah. So maybe mine's not better. I don't know. But
No. Wait.
ooh. My accuracy is not great. Okay. So we're doing more of Clan War since we're turning in the quest to get to the Triquetra anyway, and doing one other quest at the same time that Deceptix is doing. So the Triquetra is actually a really good to have in the run, because it's a guaranteed Jacob shotgun. So if we can make it to this point in the run, we can finish the run with the Triquetra. So it's really good to have for like safety and security reasons.
Yeah, it comes at like the perfect point in the run.
Yep, and it has just enough damage for us to be able to use it at the very end. So get to this and we can 9 times out of 10 finish our run. 99 times out of 100 finish our run.
So right here, Deceptix easy, just run through the map. I death hook to the end of it to help out with this wave fight we have to do here. This is where we meet the last of the 4 original Vault Hunters from Borderlands 1.
That's right. Start running.
Kind of just an indie callback to people who played the original game.
The recruit's making you look like idiots. Slab, go get him.
Of course it's Jacob stock.
What, your shotgun or?
Shotgun.
Oh. It's okay, yours could be TD or grip. With Jacob stock.
Unjust is probably better.
You killed
Bloodwing's dead.
Toward grip, Hyperion stock. Yeah.
Grip
Versus,
type stock Sidewinder.
yeah.
Torque sight.
Mm.
Um,
So we do not have the quest here.
I'm playing arms
I guess,
dealing.
I guess you can click it. You might as well. You never know. Yep.
Just ordered some
Okay.
serious merchandise from
Shotgun's on the ground?
arms dealer. Man's gotta
just
protect his business after all. I'm gonna need you to pick up this shipment as quick as you can. So the Vault Hunter met the
So normally we'd play a specific quest that would skip all of this dialogue. Unfortunately, it played during Sanctuary because of some dialogue complications.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
I don't know why that happened. Sometimes dialogue decides to just break out of nowhere. It's
I
very
have a
finicky,
copy?
this game.
No? Okay.
Oh, did you not get one?
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought you did. Okay, so I'll get you one at some point. So what Decep and Unjust are doing are killing the enemies that spawn right outside, whereas I run back to the start of the area. It was too early. Back to the start at the area travel. If we travel out at the right time, then we can skip Brick running to his next checkpoint. And as we've established, NPCs run very, very slow. So these travel outs are generally faster than waiting for the NPC to run.
So again, I'm gonna wait at the start here to travel out while Deceptix easy progress the quest.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. Cool.
So again, this just pushes Brick forward and then skips his running animation.
Very slow running animation. It also eliminates RNG because he will attack certain enemies, and if we get unlucky with spawns, he can actually be further back than normal.
Yeah, so Decep's going to be doing the wave fight. While he's doing that, I'm doing one of the other side quests in the area. Scooter is trying to write a poem Brick really likes, so he's trying to get some phenomenal inspiration for his poem.
And I'm trying to body block Brick so he's closer to where he needs to be at the end of this fight. Unfortunately, we got bad spawns initially, so he wasn't in a great spot.
Punk? Do you have a punk? You do have a punk.
I have a punk. It's not very good though, so if you find a better one, I'd appreciate that.
15%.
Won't buy it.
I did.
Go.
Remember the punk? Sorry.
Priorities.
20 coach. That's something.
Moxie.
Yes.
Scientifically murdering old Slappy.
To be honest, I got no idea.
You want my camera, too? You can
Go.
Plugging that booth.
Great. Take that camera to opportunity.
It's my birthday.
You see him double yet?
So it's
We don't
Claptrap's
get it. We
birthday.
don't get it. We don't get Hyperion.
We don't get Hyperion?
Nope. I mean, I can try, but yeah.
The Hyperion Corporation wishes
That's
to
fine.
extend an
Alright, so it's Claptrap's birthday. So we're gonna invite some people to come join his birthday. So we're in the Holy Spirit, so there's a whole bunch of people in here. I'm sure they'll love to join.
Jack destroyed my Underdome after I dumped him.
See?
You wanna come to the birthday party?
Oh no, they do
God.
not. Okay.
Okay, they're very mean. Claptrap, you got some weird friends.
You're good. So that didn't work, unfortunately. I'm sure I'll have people at his birthday.
We'll find some other people to come to his birthday. Sorry, Claptrap, we tried.
I would never turn around and then see you turned around and then turn around again.
I
Never.
left before you did.
I would never do such a thing.
We're fine. Okay, so here we have opportunity. In solo or in co-op 90%, it is a very, very short area. In co-op All Quests, it is a very, very long area. Solely because of this one quest that I just picked up. Statuesque. We essentially have to escort an NPC through the entirety of the map. And it is a very slow NPC, as we've established. And there's a couple ways that we can speed it up, but overall it's still a really, really slow quest.
Yeah, the only way to... There's not many ways to speed it up.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually had it.
Get away from the explosive, sugar. They're gonna make a big boom.
So the only way that we really have to speed up this area is something that we're setting up that Unjust and I are setting up right now. If you kill all the enemies, so we have the constructor. It's going to all of the Jack statues in the area. And if you kill all of the enemies around Jack statues before the constructor gets there, once it gets there, it'll respawn the enemies. If you kill them again, the constructor will move immediately. It only works for the first 2 areas, so it's not a be all end all way of speeding it up, but it's what we found that can speed it up at least a little bit.
And it does save a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
It's still, yeah, not a great area, but no, we do what we can.
I'm not even gonna, this is like a minute-long area in solo or in a co-op 90%, and it's like an 8-minute one in all quests solely because of this one quest.
So you can see the constructor's laser is still going here, and the statue is very much not destroyed yet. It's got shiny anklets now. That's about it.
Yeah, those are more like eye wristbands or something. Eye bands? Is that a...
Thigh bands, yes.
Yeah.
So it's the new fashion fad that Jack's starting.
So the constructor's nowhere near here, but you know the statue just kind of fell.
He uses telekinesis.
Yep.
Just pushed it over.
This is where spawn locking can also come into play. There are a lot of enemies that spawn in this area, and in this map, and we need the areas around the constructor to spawn. So we've been trying to clear out spawns as much as possible to get these enemies so that we can kill them as fast as possible. So now that we killed the last constructor, this constructor is gonna teleport away, and it's not done cutting. So
that warlord spawned out of thin air.
So if I keep watching this statue, check mark, finish cutting, it's not even remotely close to it. So unfortunately, those are the only 2 that we can do this for. So these next 2 are kind of just gonna show off how long it really takes. So something we talked about a little bit at the very start of the round with the duping that we're doing is you can dupe any implicit weapon stats of a gun. So we're duping the critical damage from a sniper. If your weapon is a melee weapon, it gives you increased melee damage. You can dupe that melee damage. There's a whole bunch of things that you can dupe. What I just duped is a Moxie weapon, which we got from the other mission in the dust that Deceptix was doing by shooting a van. And Moxie weapons have a unique property of healing you for the amount of damage, a percentage of the amount of damage you do. So I duped that a couple times, and all damage that I do is going to be healed back to me at a certain percentage, which also stacks. So I have a lot of healing just by dealing damage. Let's see if I can take a little bit of... Yeah. I guess not. So you can see how long it takes whenever you have to wait for the constructor to cut the thing and then wait for him to go to the next area. It loses a lot of time having to wait through all that.
It's like right now the only thing we're waiting on is just the constructor to get done with the last statue.
Yeah, we can do the rest of the area as leisurely as possible because of how long the constructor takes.
But he does give me a nice piggyback ride, so you know, can't dislike him too much.
Priorities.
Indeed.
Your work's done.
Have you found any? I don't know if you've even been looking, but have you found a slightly better duping sniper? No.
I've not.
Okay. Accuracy is very bad.
Yeah, mine is 2.
Maybe Jacob's stock is not dupable. Like, I don't want to think about what this would be without the Hyperion barrel.
Weapon sales have skyrocketed since the opening of the vault.
Do you have a melon launcher?
Yeah.
I have a slag one.
I have a shotgun.
those war hippies in Malawan, the gun's named like the Fervent Gospel or the Guileless Provocateur, some pretentious.
So Decep is doing the main quest up until a certain point. Like we're just about ready to complete it, but we're waiting to finish that main story quest until the constructor's just about finished, so we can do a quick little dialogue skip with the story quest.
Words with heft, words with meaning, words that evidently nobody in this room understands given the blank looks you troglodytes are giving me right now. Look, when you pick up a Hyperion shotgun called the projectile diversification, you'll know it was made by smart sons of bitches. For smart sons of bitches. Jesus, is anyone writing
One funny
this
thing
down?
about this constructor is that he's very thorough when it comes to his job. Is that so you can see in about a second here, his laser's gonna go completely through the statue, and he just keeps trucking away.
He's like, nah, I'm not done.
You can go.
Now, unfortunately,
So I just have to hit this last button after Deceptix picks up the main story item, and that skips a bit of dialogue there. And we're finally done with that wretched area. And it's time to party, everybody. Time for the birthday bash.
So we're gonna try and invite the people around Sanctuary to go to Claptrap's birthday. Doesn't look like it worked. It's okay. We can go to Claptrap's birthday.
No, I'm leaving. This is a boring party. I'm out of here.
What?
Yeah, I'm out. I'm leaving.
What?
Sorry.
Fine. I'll stay with Claptrap. I'll stay with Claptrap.
Can't take it anymore, man. It's too much.
He's just dancing. I mean, it's too much. There's an entire quest about it in BL3.
Alright, fine. I feel bad. Come back.
Lilith, Mordecai, you're protecting the city.
Come say hi to Claptrap.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave.
What?
Any questions? Yeah. Why ain't I going? I gotta pay Hyperion back for Bloodwing.
That's unacceptable.
No, dude, I have to leave for a quick second to finish one of the quests around Sanctuary. And just pick up a couple of echoes all throughout the area.
Yeah, sorry.
And then I can join Claptrap, I guess.
You got you some pizza. Do you want it?
I mean,
You got your pizza.
I don't see any pizza.
Pizza.
There's a pizza. Yeah, I'll have it.
Nice. Thanks, Claptrap.
Thanks, buddy.
Claptrap to 1,000 cuts. We need him to shut down the force field.
make it painful, guys.
This is gonna be fun.
Okay, Claptrap tracks you. He's tracking me. This is so
Center
weird.
of town, there's a better duping sniper.
Thank you.
around on the ceiling, but it's hardly the same. Jack has taken so much from me.
Work still?
Jack has taken the only happiness I've ever had in his asinine quest
okay.
for the warrior and more power.
Alright, we gotta go home.
I gotta go, yeah.
We got stuff to do. We got stuff to take care of.
I will allow myself the revenge. I will allow myself to aid in his downfall. Mark my words.
So we're not actually gonna finish the birthday bash. We gotta leave early, but you know, see you later, Claptrap.
If we do that, then we can skip his last line of dialogue. He ends his own party early, but we can skip dialogue to end it faster.
So there we play a quest and then turn it in and pick up another quest, and that just skips all the Claptrap's dialogue here at the field, saving a bit of time.
Let me tell you, my accuracy is so much better now.
Just with like a couple of dupes of it, I can imagine.
I did dupe a lot in Sanctuary.
Okay,
I do a
that's
lot of
fair.
dupes there.
I died a little bit early.
A little bit?
Just a tad. So I'm supposed to do a death warp here to get up toward Deceptix and ZZR. You might have to rehit the save.
Oh god.
No, you're good.
No, my accuracy killing the turret.
So yeah, I'm supposed to be over here just to help get the spawns we need to progress the quest.
So we need to kill 2 turrets and 2 surveyors here, and 1 constructor to progress. So I can do it. Oh, I did not throw the well at all. We're good. So I do a quick little grenade jump to get to the other side of the door before it opens. I got caught, so it didn't actually save all that much time. But really quick way of getting through the area.
So this area is one of the biggest areas, specifically in solo. All the turrets that we're about to destroy have a very random spawn pattern, and depending on where they spawn, you can lose a lot of time. Thankfully in co-op, Deceptix and ZZ run at the speed of sound essentially, so they can get there before the spawning animation is even complete. So that eliminates that factor of RNG. So while they're doing that, I'm gonna do a little out of bounds here to get to the end of the map early. After we're done with this area, there's typically an elevator you have to ride all the way down. That takes a lot of time. So I'm gonna jump out of bounds on the way down here, call the elevator to the bottom.
Are you shooting the Hyperion sniper?
Shush. I was hoping it would be a little bit more accurate, and it wasn't. So, without getting too in depth with specific weapon parts or anything, every manufacturer manufactures gun parts for the guns that they produce. And we're trying to get a certain combination of parts that help our accuracy compared to the ones that hurt our accuracy. So,
Z's and I are actually going to stand in a very specific spot, and this will manipulate Bunker's AI, hopefully, to do a consistent, consistent spawn pattern, which isn't the fastest spawn pattern, but it is. First of all, consistent. It's not RNG based. Unlike getting any other pattern, it's faster than a bad pattern, but it's not the fastest. So if you get good RNG, then you'll have then it'll be faster. But you know, getting good RNG is that never happens.
Especially from Bunker.
Yep.
He does not like speedrunners. Okay, though. We don't like him either.
You do not have Hyperion.
Hey.
Okay, just making sure.
So we're sort of here. Unjust is at the bottom of the elevator, acting like he rode the elevator. Decep is progressing the story, and I'm just killing Bunker.
I do a nade jump after traveling just to hit the button there at the bottom of the elevator.
Yeah, Unjust actually hits 2 triggers there at once. The button's a trigger, and then there's a trigger at the bottom of the elevator. So if the elevator is already at the bottom, if you hit the button for it to go down, definitely down, and then he'll be in the trigger at the bottom as well.
And this area is an area that you really can't speed up all that much. It's basically just dependent on killing enemies as soon as they spawn in. That's about all you can do, alongside some of the dialogue skips. Quest skipping saves the most amount of time in this area. There's 4 quest skips we do in this area. It saves like minutes of dialogue. But other than that, it's basically just a bunch of waiting for enemies to spawn.
I have a gift.
Is it a level 20 shotgun?
It is.
Jeez.
Indeed.
Ooh, that's a pretty one.
Same exact parts.
Oh my goodness, the fire rate on this shotgun.
You'll have more next level.
Do you have a gunner?
I may or may not have a gunner.
You know I can do this area while I fix my accuracy, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks.
Drop all your guns out of your backpack and then pick up 8, and then just quickly
stop
go
making
between
sense.
the 2.
Stop making
Stop
sense.
making sense? Okay.
I think I messed up my infinite ammo by doing that.
But yeah, this area is really slow. There's nothing really to speed it up. It's a perfect time for donations.
One thing to note here is whenever Roland's on the ground, he will follow the host player. So my job at this point is to lead Roland to where he needs to be after we clear this next wave. We do this one point, or another time throughout the area. There's one more trigger I need to lead him to. One thing to note is that he won't actually stand in the trigger. He'll always walk around it, and it's probably to avoid him hitting it early, kind of like what happened at Minip, if you remember, like an hour ago. So Roland's right where he needs to be and comes immediately. That was like another thing that was found recently, fairly recent, that can speed up this area. Before it, I remember just having times where we just lose like 20 seconds out of nowhere and I'd be very confused. So that was the culprit.
This is my vow. Every friend, every child, every person who's ever passed.
I can see so much better. My god.
Yeah, I'm no longer picking up Jacob's stock.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I don't care if that was the reason. It could have been dull grip, but that stock.
It could have been just that we had all the Jacobs, and it just no, because it wasn't that bad. But
No, because it wasn't bad, but it got worse as I duped Hyperion.
yeah.
Which is the opposite of what should happen.
Honestly, not surprising. Considering Jacob's stock, but
Yeah. But I mean, this is double Jacobs.
yeah, but stock.
Yeah.
Stock is the important part.
I'm just gonna again lead Roland to the spot here. This is the section of RNG in the run where Lilith she needs to teleport here to take Roland up to the last objector. She can take anywhere from instantly or 10 seconds, depending on how she's feeling. We actually got really good RNG there. She usually takes it long.
We might be able to manipulate her just by keeping an enemy alive if she teleports. Or like if she's mid-phase walk before. I don't know. Just thinking out loud. So, Decep and Unjust are going to set up another sequence skip with some remaining echoes. So, play an echo, play a quest, play an echo. Now this my echo has super high priority, and we'll skip the rest of the dialogue in the area consistently.
Yeah, we actually turn one of the shortest lines of quest dialogue in the game to, I would say, the longest in Maya's echo.
The quest we use is Marcus. The Bane. Marcus. The Bane. That's it.
And here we travel out and then turn to the quest. The skip's a really long cutscene that typically plays in that area. So instead of watching that and traveling back to Sanctuary, we travel out. Deceptix will death warp to the fast travel station back at the top of the map, and we travel back to Sanctuary. This takes like 20 seconds, but it's still a lot shorter than sitting through that cutscene.
Yeah, the cutscene's like a minute. 10, 20.
Something like that.
Yes.
My cursor wasn't over the Sanctuary demon, okay? I preemptively hit the spacebar.
So... What is that? Then Scooter. Then Moxie, if I can make it there.
We can slow down for you.
No, I can make it to Moxie. I should be able to.
Did you make it?
I would have if I counted correctly. I thought I had more time than I did.
I wasn't even. I turned in Scooter in between takes.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
As long as we know that we need to get Moxie later, it's fine.
So here, we're back in the dust. The next story area we need to go to is Travels in the Dust. But we're also going to finish the Clan Wars side quest that we started a little bit ago, as well as some other side quests that are lingering in the area.
They're the chosen one. I think we might have it. We do. Typically don't have that quest for quest swapping, but we do this time for some reason, so
have fun with fire.
So we finished Clan War, and with how much we get angry at Zed, or not Zed, at McZafford in the first part of the Clan War, And as much as we'd really like to kill him, there's a glitch that can happen with the Hodunks that we might not be able to turn in properly, which loses a lot of time. So much to our disdain, we keep Mick alive, and we side with the Zaffords instead of the Hodunks.
Otherwise, it can just soft lock randomly, and no idea why.
So we're in an area called Lunchwood right now. This area is solely side quests. There is no story mission that you have to do here, but it's a really interesting area regardless. It's a big area with quest objectives in 3 different places in it. Lucky for us, there are 3 of us. So we can spread out in the area and do the different objectives as they pop up. And it's a really fun route.
It's one of the more interesting areas. It has a lot of just different quests in all different parts of the map. It's one of the areas where having 3 players is like particularly advantageous.
Explosives, huh?
Or like really showcases why having 3 players is really good.
So we're doing such a wide range of different things in here. We're blowing up a train, we're robbing a bank, we're raising a dog, skag. We're getting a cursed weapon. We're doing a lot of different things in this area.
It's a good itinerary.
You should remember XP relic this time. If you didn't put it on already.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just to make sure, because we are quite low this run. Yeah, you're at
2.
3. 4.
Yeah.
5. You're good.
Come on, drop.
Cool. So that's a completely RNG quest. We need to kill skags to get 5 skag tongues.
To continue feeding our skag.
Drop. So
that's why there's a skag that spawns for one of the quests that I have that I just keep alive for a little. I let it attack me and essentially kill me, just so that we get 1 extra skag kill to try and better increase our chances of getting the tongues.
So I've done such a good job of raising this dog, feeding it, giving it medicine, feeding it again, that I become the dog. You can actually hit Dukino's triggers ahead of Dukino, so you don't actually have to follow him because he runs pretty slow.
As we've established, NPCs are slow.
Yes, even dogs.
So just become the dog.
So I become the dog, hit all the triggers, and then Unjust clears out the
How many do we
mine.
need?
We have all. We have it all. Which is kind of why I canceled the travel to Lynchwood. But we have them all.
Okay, whatever.
I got spawns, and then I'm like, do I need to kill these? It's fine.
It's fine. So now we're in Iridium Blight. We haven't really pointed it out, but there are 3 sort of hub areas. There's like the main hub world and Sanctuary, but there's 3 different hubs that open up to different areas in the map. We had 3 Horns Divide at the start of the game. We had the Highlands mid-game, and now end-game is Iridium Blight. So here Deceptix is going to the next area in the game. Go. I'm adding a trigger to trigger the next area in the story. And Unjust is picking up the bounty board to skip some dialogue so we can travel sooner.
Yeah, and grab some quests that we can do later.
Yep. So, this area, Sawtooth Cauldron.
Yeah. This is probably the most infamous area in pretty much every speedrun category. In any percent, it's a really difficult area because you are extremely underleveled, and there's a bunch of high-level enemies, and just many of them always throughout the area, and really easy to die. Very intimidating area. And in this area, there's a quest here that is entirely RNG. The whole quest, or at least this part of it, is just clearing spawns and trying to get a map part from the enemies. You can get them from like in 5 kills, like we've had one run like that, or you can lose 4 minutes in this area trying to just, you know, clear them out and get the items you need. So it's a very daunting area in just every category. And yeah.
It would be a real run killer. Just whoever can get these spawns faster has a really good time, and whoever doesn't. If it weren't for this other quest that we're doing right now, called Capture the Flags, there are 3 generators that are raising different clan flags or bandit flags or something that we just kind of have to sit next to and wait for. We legitimately have to sit next to them because if we run away from the area, it'll stop. And it got interrupted.
Yeah, they break.
They break if you.
That's how generators work.
They break if you leave the area. So we just kind of have to sit here and wait for them. So it's a blessing and a curse because for one, it means we just kind of sit here and do nothing. But at the same time, it gives us time for the super RNG quest. So double-edged sword.
Otherwise, this would just be like who determined, like who got good RNG in this split would determine who got record, because it was just super unlikely to get the map parts that quickly.
But still very possible. So.
Especially since this is, you know, an hour and a half into the run, it'd be not fun to do a whole run to this point and then have it die.
Just to getting really bad. And that part spawns. Speaking of which, how many do we have?
3?
20. Not parts 3.
Never mind.
So, what I'm doing right now is I'm killing enemies with the E-Tech gun. You need to kill 25 bandits with it. You're only really supposed to use this gun in like the early maps. I got the last one. But because of the amount of crit damage we have, we can actually use the E-Tech without any real issues. For reference, this gun does 42 damage. The Gwen's head, which is level 9, does 53. But because of the crit that we've stacked the entire run, we have enough damage to be able to kill enemies with a singular crit.
Alright, so my generator's done. Because of the way the spawn cap, I barely get any spawn, so I just kind of sit here and wait for it. But mine's done first, so I go directly to the story quest to get started on that. Deceptix the first half of it. I'm just finishing it up here. So I have to ride all the way to top up here. There's a quest that we have to pick up, and it's a really annoying quest to do with one person, because you have to pick up the quest, take the elevator down, and then ride the elevator back up to turn it back in. But with multiple people, I can just chill up here while I have Decept pick up the objective for it and turn it in whenever he finishes without having to take the elevator more than once.
And I'm just here clearing spawns and gathering XP. We need to hit 25 pretty quickly coming up here. It typically isn't a big issue, but I just clear spawns because I don't have much else to do. Plus, spawn locking is an issue in this area, at the end here at least, so it's good to do.
I'm sorry? What? Did you?
Killed 2 buzzards.
Okay. Thank you. That's a really annoying area. The reason why spawn locking is really big because we need those buzzards to spawn, and there are a lot of enemies that are taking out those buzzard spawns. So.
Which one is it?
The one close to travel.
Close.
Close. Oh well.
That's still a good Sawtooth.
Yeah, not bad. So at this point, it's one of the largest reroutes. We pretty much rerouted the entirety of the end game because The old idea used to be get to level 25, get this certain gun that we need for a glitch that we'll show later, and then continue from there. But we took a different approach because that required a few extra travels, and doing travels back and forth costs a lot of time. As we said earlier, it takes there's a 5-second travel timer each time you attempt to travel, and then after the travel, you have to sit through a 3-second blue tunnel. So for each travel alone, it's 8 seconds. So the route that we have created saves, I think, like 4 or 5 travels, which, you know, leads to 30+ seconds of time save. So yeah, so we are going to complete these 2 story areas back to back, instead of doing what the old route did, which was splitting them in 2.
We also don't need to finish. We don't need this glitch to finish these areas. We kill a handful of enemies and that's it.
Yep.
So for this area, we just split up. Each of us have an area and finish the story. Here, Decept's going to be doing the main story while Unjust and I do some of the side quests. That's a really weird mix of, or I guess fun mix of swapping between just any percent routing and all quest routing.
Yep.
And as it turns out, when that iridium is broken through her body, I can stab her over and over. Son of a bitch. Coming, Lil. Just what a nice day. Just walking out in the sun, talking into my echo recorder.
There you go.
Hoping scabs
Go.
don't ambush me and break my gun into 4 separate parts before eating them.
I keep interacting too late.
Sorry, that's really tough to do. That quest right there, it doesn't actually open the menu to turn in right when you hit E on it. So it's really difficult to get in between ticks there.
Yeah.
Alright, so here, we're about to hit level 20. We are level 25. So that means we're going to get the big glitch for the run.
Yeah, so I'm going to turn this quest here. And this gives us a gun called the Evil Smasher glitch. And this is the most broken glitch in the series. Basically, what it does is it gives you every whenever you reload, you have a 7% chance to gain basically just random stats on your gun, and these are the stats like you'd expect on any gun.
Oh,
right?
I clicked
Fire
the
rate.
wrong thing. That's my
Oh,
fault.
that's fine. Like fire rate, accuracy, damage, recoil reductions, pretty much every stat you could ever want. If you then swap away and swap back, you can stack the 7% chance on your character, and thus get multiple chances. And if you get this stacked high enough, you can actually practice this effect multiple times, up to an infinite amount. And this is a very broken glitch, as you will see very shortly.
Okay, now I'm down.
So here I down myself, and then land on ZZ's head. While I'm down, I don't bounce off his head like I would if I was up. And then ZZ can just taxi me over into the arena, because this is an all players trigger. So all of us have to be here to start this side questing. So this area is just a massive wave fight. There's 5 rounds of it, and it's kind of the most jarring area in the run. It brings this really fast, really high speed run when there's always something going on, and brings it to like a screeching halt. It's an 11-minute area. We speed it up as much as we can, using the Evil Smasher glitch and splash damage and the launchers that CC Deceptix have. But it does still take a while.
Which is good and bad. 1, again, the run comes to a screeching halt. But 2, it means that we have plenty of time to stack Evil Smasher. So our damage and all of our weapon stats just go absurdly high, just by being able to stack it in this area while nothing else is really going on. So we spend that first fight. Decep and I do the majority of the fight while Unjust gets his stacks. So now that Unjust has, I'm guessing, an acceptable smash, he can take over, and you can just start to see the absurdity of Gage in general. With all this fire rate and damage, and the close enough glitch, and infinite ammo, you just kind of have to look around and you kill everything.
Yeah, like again, I every time I shoot a surface, my bullet has a 50% chance to ricochet towards an enemy, And when your fire rate is this high and you do as much damage as I do, you just kind of flick your mouse around and everything dies. There's one more area like this coming up in a little bit. It isn't as long, but it is still a considerable amount of time. About 8 minutes, that area. So at the end of each wave, you'll notice that ZZ's actually downing himself and bleeding out.
I'm just really bad at the game.
Yeah, this will spawn him outside the arena, and that just means he can turn in the mission immediately after we complete it and run back without having to do the run both ways.
As you can see, these doors are closed. So instead of having to wait for the doors to open to run through and then get to this guy to think and turn in, I can just turn in immediately and start running back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The slaughter begins.
There. Okay, so I have an acceptable smash. I'm sure Decep already has one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we can all start doing some insane damage through this area. So Gage is close enough, which is why Unjust is still using a shotgun. But since we don't have close enough, Decep and I actually have to aim. So to counteract that, we use launchers that have a high amount of splash damage to sort of make up for my bad aim, at least.
I have the best aim. Never one can tell.
Yep. Smile and nod.
Yeah,
We're
that's
done.
why I do the most here.
You do indeed. It's pretty funny not being able to see anything and just hearing lots of gun.
Lots of gun. Gun go burr.
Do indeed go burr.
4, 3, 2, 1. Slaughter.
Is the you not being able to use a slag weapon, is that just on your end, or is that on my end too? I shouldn't be using slag.
Well, okay, so for me, it's because I go near slag psychos, and I don't do damage to them with the slag launcher.
Okay.
But if
Does-
you've never had an issue with it, then don't worry about it.
Well, I don't
But yeah, like when
do
I'm
slag
getting
psychos.
clothes, it's really annoying.
Okay, so it's not like performance or potentially crashing or anything.
No, it's
okay.
yeah, it's just
It's just that you can't use it as a weapon.
it's slag psychos.
Gotcha.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Because
Is it-
for some reason they're immune. Just
So
why not, you know?
I got that idea in for Borderlands 3 in here. Got it. Purple enemies being immune to an element, the debuffing element, all the way back in BL2.
We're done.
Alright, we're just about finished with the slaughters. We have one more wave after this. This slaughter at least. And then the run is going to kick in a high gear after this. If it hadn't already in the past. So I guess while we're doing this last part, we can sort of talk about some of the routing coming up. If you look at our quest log, there's a whole bunch of side quests that we haven't done and or can't do yet. And the reason is because we've been putting them off up until this point. For a lot of them, there's a lot of mobbing that we have to do and clear out just a whole wave of enemies. So clear out just this huge group of enemies, which is we can do quickly previously, but it's much easier just being able to hold down and just wave your mouse around the screen to kill all the enemies. So a lot of the upcoming missions have some sort of a quest or objective like that coming up, which is why we generally put off some of those quests until this point. And part of the reason why the previous route just kind of blitzed to get the Evil Smasher so that they could set it up and keep going with some of those side quests and start knocking those out. Because if you can't tell already, it's a very, very powerful glitch. So, actually, right here's sort of interesting when it comes to some of the routing we did. I was doing some of the early death warps to turn in early, but for this last one we have Decept die and do the death warp instead to turn in, and that's solely because he has a better connection to Undust. He just lives closer, so he's able to turn in between ticks easier, especially by the time we finish with these. There's a whole bunch of loot on the ground, lowering performance, worsening connection.
Yeah, this area has a lot of lag towards the end of it.
So having Decept have the good connection to get that in between ticks just save time. So just an interesting way of how we've had to change the route to accommodate just our setup. So we're done with the slaughters. We're gonna kick right back up. Perfect time to do the fridge quests since we're already in the fridge, and because a couple of enemies we have to kill that just get obliterated instead.
Take that, you stupid wreck. Try dropping a deuce on my outrunner. I bet Lanny will stop craving human flesh as soon as she smells them slices. Why would anyone ever be a cannibal so long as pizza exists?
That rack just made play of the year. Oh my god.
Yeah, so Decept and I are doing one quest, just go to this area, pick up this item, whereas Unjust is killing a boss.
I'm also gathering rack parts too, a little bit, and just trying to clear spawns throughout the area to make sure we get everyone we need.
And now, after finishing that one quest, Decept is on the prowl for a different quest, a random spawn. It can spawn in one of random areas.
Yeah, there's 4 spawns for it, and we got it, which is nice.
No. Don't know.
I was that fast?
My movement was bad.
Oh. I thought I was good for once.
You were.
So, about, what was it, an hour ago? We talked about one of the reroutes to do packages at a certain time. And then it also, like, set up a quest skip. So coming up, we're going to play the quest that we got under dialogue.
Another player, huh?
And there's a very specific reason that we used this quest. Because you can only skip Claptrap with Claptrap. Claptrap, for some reason, has a weird set of priority. It's not super high, but it's like it like overlaps with other things. It's kind of weird. But you can skip him with himself.
So yeah, we use the quest we're doing to skip the dialogue from the quest that we're doing.
And since Claptrap gives the quest, he interrupts himself and skips all of his dialogue.
Yeah, it's really nice and saves a lot of time. It's probably the most significant quest skip that we added.
That was fast.
Yeah, that was good.
Really good. So the sub gets to do this little fun jump here, down to the next area. Well, as you see, it's the trigger in this map.
It's one of my favorite movement jumps.
So the Caustic Caverns. This is the return of one of our fun little mechanics of a singular quest, time gating the entire area.
So this map would normally be really, really cool. There's like some neat little side areas that you have to like fly around the map to get. Unfortunately, ZZ has to push a minecart. And even more unfortunately, the minecart does not speed up because ZZ moves faster. There's a set speed that it can move at. So we are time gated to
this minecart and this minecart
alone. ZZ, you should have went to the gym a little more, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, never skip leg day.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Unfortunately.
Think of all the time we could have saved.
Yeah, if only. So, yeah,
yeah.
The only routing we can do for this area is just make sure Decep is in certain spaces so I don't have to move away from the minecart. And for me to
Anytime that ZZ's off the minecart is time we lose.
Yep.
So as much as he can stay on it, is the better.
And just get to the minecart as fast as possible.
Yep.
Which is important because there's so many different quests and different items to run through to get.
Yeah.
And none of it matters because of this minecart.
Yeah.
So like
a couple things.
We added one optimization in this map, and it was me grabbing the minecart quest instead of ZZ, so that he could go
just
as
directly to the
minecart as possible. Grabbing the quest was a detour. Obviously, we can't have detours if pushing the minecart is the time gate. So yeah, that's like the only optimization we could have added. Because unfortunately, this area is slowed down.
What if you become the minecart, like you became the dog?
That would be so nice. But I can't raise a minecart.
No, imagine if it just zoomed. That'd be funny. But unfortunately, it does not.
I can't raise a minecart, so...
Yep.
This ep was just really good at raising a dog, and minecart already exists, so... Fortunately, that's not an option. So I think we're done with every quest in this area already.
Yes.
We're almost. We're literally just waiting for this minecart.
But yeah, it's mostly just waiting for the minecart.
And I blame that quest on how little I know about everything else in this area. Because
the reason why ZZ does this is because when we were learning the category, he knew nothing about Caustic. So,
because I always watched the minecart get pushed.
Yeah. So he gets the very fun job of shoving his face into the minecart. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, I was too early. Okay, never mind. Go.
You know, not to stop
That was
I didn't pick them all up in one go. That's
That was
sad.
bold.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Your movement and hole
Yeah,
was
our-
really pretty good.
Oh no, the Three Realms
The
Divide.
divide was the divide was tasty.
Okay,
So
we
yeah,
just
right here we're actually gonna return to the main story. We've been doing a little bit of sidetracking, so right now is a perfect time to get back to it.
This is it, minion. Our vengeance is finally at
I
hand.
talked about Claptrap for the main story, and all right,
and
now
we're done
gonna
with the
go
main
do some
story.
more time missions.
So
Again, Claptrap moves very slowly. You can kind of sense a pattern here. So we travel out to skip that waiting.
Chill out, joke.
and we have to travel to
This is
this area
awkward. This is
to
slightly awkward.
You're alright there, bud?
Yeah, I should be. Where are my spawns? Apparently I'm not fine. Because I'm not, I don't know where spawns are. No, it'll be fine. This didn't happen. That,
yeah. So we have to travel to this area at some point anyway. So just fitting it in between the travel to skip Claptrap is just perfect timing.
yeah, works perfect.
Perfect routing. So this is a quick little area. Again, just has one quest. Honestly, surprisingly one of my favorite areas, just because one really bad legendary that spawns. I guess favorite area casually. But we just kill 4 enemies, kill 4 mini bosses, and that's about it.
Yeah, and we just do it during the travel out in Iridium Blight. We had to travel up there anyway just to skip a bit of waiting around, so might as well do some side quests.
Help you guys out with the siren.
I've been observing this siren drill since the opening of the vault. She appears to be using Iridium to enhance her natural spacewalking abilities. This
Except-
leads me to assume some unspoken connection between sirens, Iridium, and the vault. I have determined 2 additional things. Firstly,
Hey man, invisible walls are hard to navigate around. Or I guess poor placement of walls is more like it. Go.
taste like olives. Wait, no, fried pickles.
So after that detour, we're back to the main story.
For real this time.
For real. I'm gonna go start the main story because I can get there really fast. While Deceptix is gonna start on some of the side quests in the area.
And I'm just gonna go to the place Zeus is going to, because I can do the actual fight quicker, but he just gets it quicker than me, so we can start it.
So Unjust is here, and I'm gonna go help with some side quests too.
Let me just get this door open. The door can stop me, Jack?
And this is another area that's could have really cool routing, but we just have to wait for another quest. Granted, it's the main story quest that takes the longest, but it's still unfortunate too.
Hello there, Loot.
Close.
I wear so many clothes. I'll be the best human ever.
Comes out.
I'd like to have a wide variety to choose from.
So this is a storyline that quest line. You pick up the quest on one end of the map and you do it on the other end of the map. So I stay at Mal to pick up the quests, and Decept is way over there actually doing the quests.
Yes! I've done it! Shutting the door defenses down now!
Activating additional door defenses. Turrets deployed.
God damn it!
Refunds. My God. I'm never.
Dispatching additional troops.
So the only way you can really speed up this wave fight here is by standing over here where I am and shooting at the surveyor spawns above the door here. The surveyors don't have a spawning animation. You can kill them immediately as they spawn, whereas the loaders take a few seconds to spawn in. And there's only a certain number of spawns for each wave. So if you kill more surveyors, then you spend less time waiting for them to spawn in. That saves a really considerable amount of time in this section, and is the only way to speed it up.
Additional troops.
Aside from just killing as quickly as possible.
It actually worked! The turret's back.
Which obviously isn't much of an issue.
Yeah, no, not in this category. Any percent it can be.
Reinforcements depleted.
Don't worry, baby. Happens to a lot of girls.
So we're finished with the wave fight. Instead of finishing with the main quest, we're gonna go back to some more side quests. We have very little of the story left. If this was a 90% run, we'd have 2 short areas, and then the run would be over. So pretty much the rest of the run is going to be finishing side quests. So we're going to
I'm
get...
under the map now because it's fun.
Oh, I'm in the wrong spot.
Oh,
Um,
I did that backwards.
any percent brain went burr. My fault.
Oh, good. I did it backwards anyway.
Yeah, so I'm supposed to turn in a quest there to then proc some dialogue that will skip Claptrap, so he stops screaming no, because it's actually quite annoying, and it loses time.
So here's the other really slow wave fight side quest chain that we have to do. This one's a bit shorter. So again, we just do the car straps to get me over to the fight here, so I can just make sure close enough to kill all the enemies. This one is a bit different than the previous one in that it has dialogue before each wave. The other one did as well, it just did not matter. The spawns were animation based and not dialogue based, but the spawns in this one will only happen after Mal, or Innuendo bot, says finishes his line. So we use quests and echoes here to skip all this dialogue, and it saves like 30 seconds or something total throughout this area.
If you're able to skip everything.
If you're able to skip everything, there's a bit of it's a bit finicky sometimes, but yeah, for the most part you can skip them all.
Okay, look, I need your help. I know what you're thinking. Trap.
So you notice in the other slaughter, I was sticking around at least for the first 2 waves to sort of help out with the killing. This one I'm just dying immediately because my damage actually doesn't really help on that. It'll help, but what's more important is for me to sit over here and just dupe a whole bunch. So what I'm duping is the Lady Fist, which has a bit more crit damage than the snipers that we were duping. Those of you who played Borderlands before might be thinking, oh, 800% of critical hit damage, I'm sure that's really, really helpful. It's not, unfortunately. On this patch, it only has 400% critical hit damage, instead of the 800 that they patched it to later. The highest crit damage that we can get in this run is 700 from a 1 in 3 chance out of Mal, right outside here, but we had to save that for a dialogue skip, so we can't get that, but 100% is still good enough. So
I actually buffed Lady Fist a couple times throughout the lifespan of this game. So yeah, we unfortunately have to use it at its lowest, which is still really high, but
yeah,
not as high as it could be.
So the reason that I'm duping this over and over and over and over again is because at the very end of the run, there is a raid boss that is level 50. 52? 50? It's in its 50s. We're going to finish the run at level 30. 31, 32. So we need as much damage as we possibly can get to overcome some of those level differences. Whenever you're under-leveled, enemies have a damage reduction applied to them. So at the levels we're at, enemies take a 1/10 of the damage that they normally do, while also having the health of a level 50 enemy, expecting you to be killing them with a level 50 gun. This gets very, very drastic very, very quickly. So trying to get as much damage as possible for that is really important, which is why I'm just sitting here duplicating this weapon over and over and over again. Oh, they're doing this wave fight.
Yeah, during this wave fight, I look at 2 very specific spawns, actually 3, depending on where the spawns are, because Unjust can hit pretty much everything just by shaking his mouse. However, there's a few problem sections, or problem spawns that I need to look out for, so that's pretty much my job here.
Okay.
Nobody here is used to seeing a tyrant. Half the people I've met want to worship me.
The
The other half
the elevator doesn't...
Fun
Yeah, the elevator kind of pushed me the wrong way.
Oh, yeah, it happens.
Pushed me to begin with. lost my infinite ammo.
Day 2 on Pandora. Nobody here is used to seeing a
4 for
tyrant.
4.
Half the people I've met want to worship me. The
Nice.
others want to turn me over to
We actually messed
Hyperion.
up because we don't have to catch the flags.
Still, it's a nice
Well,
thing to
yeah,
make
that's why I said
people
for
happy.
4.
At least here the bad guys stab me from the front. I haven't found a shred of info about Sirens. Closest I've got to a lead on Siren history from Legends of the Pinky Vault. It's not much to go on, but it's something. Maybe if I find this vault, I'll find out where the hell Sirens come from. Or maybe I'll prove Brother Rucker right and take a bullet to the head 5 minutes from now.
The first weapon I picked up from my duping was my Blood off, so I kind of messed up my infinite ammo. But we're good now.
Nice. I'm actually real proud of you.
It was,
Just gotta continue to show off the infinite ammo glitch.
well,
Sorry, show off how to do it, not show off its use.
hmm.
Because I think you can see enough of it.
Well, I messed it up twice, so I didn't quite show off how you're supposed to do it. But we're good. Especially if we have a really high fire rate. Blood off. So,
Oh yeah, it's pretty difficult.
trying to just shoot once is a challenge. So for this last wave, it's actually really helpful for me to be over here helping out. So, that's why I stayed down here to keep shooting. And we're gonna do the same thing we did in Finks, where Decept dies because he has a better chance of getting the travel in between ticks, just because of his connection speed.
Bloodshot here.
Yes, please. Where is it? Oh, thank you.
And go. Going up down so you can, but yeah. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I knew what you were telling me to do.
Alright, and now we're done with the really boring long slaughter sections.
Yeah, the rest of the run is pretty fast paced.
Yeah, mad dash to finish what we need to finish.
Yep. This will be difficult to get in between ticks, by the way. I have all 3, but we'll see what happens.
Wait, humans.
I'm better at the video game.
So this next area is a really watch the sub screen because it's a really neat route that was found somewhat recently. And if he hits it, it's gonna be really fun.
The key's nearly charged. This world is gonna end.
So there's actually an invisible platform in the middle of that void. I'm guessing it's the barge that Mordecai and Brick come through, but like after it falls into the like it just dies. But we can use that to jump off of it and clear the gap. That saves like 10 to 15 seconds compared to the old route.
It almost cuts that area in half.
Yeah. Like you used to have to do a grenade jump and then worry about getting over a wall, doing some tricky maneuvers. No, just jump off of the air.
Yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool when you hit it perfectly.
It's also very difficult to get.
Yeah. So
You have to jump at like a very specific spot so you have enough height.
So this is the final boss of the game, Jack. And Jack is dead.
See ya. Hi Jack, bye Jack.
It's not quite that.
Yeah. His part of the fight is dead. Now we have the actual final boss of the game.
I'm not dying yet. You're too late, bandit. I win. The greatest alien power Pandora has ever seen. and it's mine to control.
All right, here's Warrior, the big, huge final boss we've been worrying about the whole game, and he's dead.
Yeah.
Really climatic fight.
If this doesn't just exemplify how strong Evil Smasher is, there you go.
And again, we're not really doing all these glitches specifically for this fight. It's for the oh, I died. That's funny. It's for the play Get to Know Jack for the moonshot.
Yep.
We're stacking these glitches for the final boss, Terramorphous, who's level 50, remind you.
Hello.
Since he's hello. Since he's 20 levels higher than we are, we do only 10% of the normal damage, right? So again, we do need all this damage.
While you're in the Nexus, grab whatever files you can on
But not for the end. Sep was able to do that with just a launcher. Can't quite do that with the final raid boss. So what Sep is doing is he's timing a travel to touch his vault key at a specific time to finish the story, but not have to watch the end cutscene. That's the wrong area.
It's fine.
It's fine. It doesn't worry.
Delay your death.
Doesn't matter.
Delay your death.
So basically, that travel out there,
You're
it
good
just
now.
skips the final cutscene. There are multiple ways to screw it up, one of which completely ruins the run, and we can't do anything about it other than safe quitting, which of course would gear developer glitches and lose eons of time. Another way is just you do it too early and you just have to run back to the area, but that's not that big of an issue. It just loses a bit of time. But Deceptix is a gamer, so...
The other way is watching the cutscene, by the way.
oh yeah, there's also that.
If
There's
you do
three
it too
ways,
early, you have to watch the cutscene. But yeah.
There's 4 different things that can happen, and only one of them is good. So.
Yeah, the final cutscene is super long, and just hurts to sit through. So yeah, and actually the last time that we sat through it, I had no audio for the rest of the run, so that was super fun. So yeah, it's a pretty cool skip. Pretty difficult to time, but I have like a really consistent setup that helps me get it a lot of the time.
So what we're doing now is now that the story's complete, we're getting through some of these side quests that we've put off to later. Look at our quest log. There's still a good amount that we still have to finish. So we're just doing a mad dash through this. We're actually in the wrong order. We're supposed to be at a different one at this point. But they're fairly interchangeable, so it's not too big of a deal.
Which way you do them. Well, kind of.
It matters a little bit, but for these...
So like ZZ puts it, interchangeable, fairly. On 11.
Great job. The train is trapped.
I could just say go on 11, but you know, whatever. Go on 11.
Well, that was quite an enjoyable tea party. Garçon, a word.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Make it right.
I counted slow again.
That was
Look at me counting slow. Unbelievable.
Just gonna skip this splits.
So again, we're just going to another area where we have to just do a few side quests to clean up.
Where we just have to kill a bunch of enemies. That's made a lot faster by the fact that we have a Smasher.
So Deceptix and ZZ are running through the area, hitting a few triggers for a mission.
Since you spawn ahead of me, since you spawn ahead of me, yeah, since you spawn ahead of me, you should keep running, and I can release.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, that does make sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Really hit a save for me, and I death warp over here. I can help clear spawns, and plus there's a objective for me to do here while Deceptix and ZZ do a wave fight that we skipped when we were doing that main story.
This is the wave fight we skipped earlier. It's a lot faster now that, you know, we can just shoot the floor and win. But previously, when we actually had to hit the enemy, it's pretty bad.
Do you have all the gun parts?
We were missing one.
you think these enemies that we run past are what's spawn locking potentially?
Maybe.
I mean, I'm spawn locked right now, just getting spawns. So.
It's probably the enemies that we're running past and not touching.
I got the last gun part, but I can't get it. Oh.
Unfortunate.
That's why we do that first.
Did you kill Skags?
Yeah? Oh, I didn't actually. I forgot to again. I'm sorry.
Okay. I guess I'll run back through.
Creatures released. Security forces dispatched.
Well, good news.
Hey, you found all the
Well, you can get it now. That is true.
I might be able to make it back for you. I don't know.
You probably will.
So I was supposed to kill some more enemies back here, but I forgot to.
That's for Bloodwing, assholes!
Damn, you did get there faster.
Go.
Cool.
No.
This still isn't the right area.
Yes, we can. Yes, we
No,
can.
we can't.
No, we don't have.
I
Can.
promise you.
Let's go.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
It's my fault. I'm.
Sorry. Scrackney did. Do we have to go to Sanctuary
Right.
first?
Yeah. We have to go to Sanctuary first. All right. This is fun. So there's a couple quests we need to grab in Sanctuary to be able to complete the side quests pickup. So that's what we're gonna do now.
It's a giant skag.
Go.
Oh God, what does it want? What the hell do you want?
We have BFS.
Yes.
That's funny.
Sorry. Shouldn't have done that.
It is close to finding out what second base feels like. And also what second base.
Okay, so this area is kind of weird. There's not many spawns, but we still get like heavily spawn locked. Mostly because this one of the objectives is to kill Scrack. You have to kill 20 different Scrack. And they really like to hog spawns, which makes my life difficult. Which it's you.
Yeah, it does an update for me, so I just trying to kill those as fast as possible. I don't know when we're finished.
I don't.
I've pumped every freaking ounce of iridium I've got into you, but the stupid key isn't working. Why?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
You're a
So now we go to Frostburn.
No.
I guess lunch bid.
No.
One more pit stop before Frostburn.
Yeah, now it doesn't matter. What order we do or anything.
We don't have to go to the other Arid Nexus.
Oh, we
Oh,
do.
no, we should
That's
do
right.
that. Oh, that's
Yeah,
fine.
Go there now.
We're doing this in the correct order.
Oh crap, man. Good job saving little stag buddy, man. I think
We kind of messed up the order, but you know, it's fine.
I'm just skipping all my splits till the end of the run because I don't know anymore. We're done with parts. We're done with
Go.
parts.
Yeah, if we have all the parts, you can go instantly.
Go to Henry. You need
Yep.
to grab the thing.
And it's, yeah, it's, yep. It's like in the same spot. Someone turn and bound it forward.
Enjoy.
Okay. I almost messed that up, but it's fine. We got it.
Frostburn. We haven't done Frostburn yet.
That's fine.
We'll do it after.
It's fine. We'll do it after.
Remember to do face McShooty.
Yep. So, one last kind of wave fight area. This quest unlocks way earlier in the story, but of course, it's really easy with Smasher, so we save it till now.
Cool.
Alright, so one thing that we haven't actually talked about, we talked about how strong scroll shooting is with a scroll wheel and a free scroll wheel and Jacob shotguns. The reason that Deceptix and I haven't been using it up to this point in the run, one, we need our scroll wheels for duping purposes, and two, we'll see it a little bit more in this next area. Whenever you're off host, your bullets just don't match your crosshair and they don't go where they're supposed to. So it's generally just more accurate for us to click shoot for everything. And you'll see more coming up. That my bullets are flying far below where my crosshair is. So that's one of the reasons why we don't do it until this point. Terramorphous, this is the raid boss, this is the level 50, 52 enemy that we've been dreading this entire time.
There's a fire gun here if you need one.
No.
Okay.
But thank you. So here's a raid boss. Here's Terramorphous. And he's dead. Level 50.
Level 50, we do 10% of the amount of damage. Like, our damage gets reduced by 90%.
Frostburn.
So, yeah. That's why we snack so much.
Yeah,
that's why the Smasher's overpowered. Death.
Actually, without the Smasher glitch, this category might be technically impossible because we couldn't really kill Terra.
Yeah.
Oh, now I see why you're out for the fire gun.
Yeah, I don't know if you shoot one.
Yeah, I do shoot one, but I had one. And I didn't check beforehand. But we're fine.
Fair. I mean, to be fair, I had one as well. So, West.
So Deceptix finishing the quest line that we started way back at the start of the game. We didn't even have infinite. We'd just gotten infinite ammo, and we've kept the quest until now to finish, just because a whole bunch of mobbing that we have to do. Easier to do with Smasher. I also kill a boss, but it's not that important.
And now all we have left to do is just turn in all the quests. I'll go to Moxie. Have we talked to her for Barry yet?
Yeah, that's done.
Do not fool yourself into thinking this planet is now safe, however.
Another day, another unsuccessful.
And that was the run. And we got world record.
No. No way.
We got world 2:24:22.
That's not even like that was like what, 30-40 seconds?
43 seconds.
Oh my god.
And by the one on speedrun.com, that's a minute 40.
Wow.
Okay, that's crazy.
So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, this has been
Borderlands 2.
Borderlands 2 Co-op All Quests.
Yeah, super cool run. That picks up almost instantly. Wow. Picks up almost instantly and stays like fast paced throughout the entire thing. The only real downsides are the slaughters. But you know, you get to see cool things like the Smasher glitch, Action Super Speed.
Every
single
speedrun words speedrun relevant glitch gets showed off in this run, which is really fun.
This is probably the most entertaining speedrun in the game, just from a player and viewer perspective.
Yep.
So there it is. Thanks for watching and consideration, and that'll be it for us.